You got it. What are those called?
Welcome to Dear Business Coach, the podcast. My name's Elizabeth. Find one thing to move your business forward today with conversations, spotlights, interviews, articles, and free resources. Listen and follow and subscribe on social media, Dear Business Coach pages and groups, Dear Business Coach podcast, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, and don't forget Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, anywhere you listen to podcasts. All it takes sometimes is one little thing to move your business forward today. I can't hear you.
Um,
Oh, that's my fault. Hold on, it's me. Never
okay.
mind. That was my fault.
Do
Yeah,
you know what those are called?
it's called an action board.
That's right. Those are
I
so cool.
and okay, so Molly, welcome to the Dear Business Coach podcast. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. I've been waiting for this interview for a while. And so I have to say this is truly a new artist release.
Hmm.
I have never been to your socials or your website or anything. I just listened to one of your tracks and I had some preview material, so that was exciting for me. And so tell me, how's it going as a new artist releasing your first track? What was that like? Tell us about the first track.
Well, it's been a long process, longer than I anticipated. Um, Being an independent music artist comes with a lot of territory.
Mm,
So it's very exciting. Um, but it's literally working from the ground up on every single aspect. So I started writing songs when I was a kid. And until now, until a couple years ago, I was recording them on my phone, or when I was younger, it was some sort of like Zoom recorder or something. And so now, deciding to take those songs out of my iPhone and put them into a computer and mix them and add all the instrumentation myself, that's been quite a process. Now, distributing that first track is a whole nother firsts, a whole nother line of firsts for me. So, it's a lot of reading a lot of terms and conditions.
mm,
Um,
mm.
it's a lot about finding out what kind of world we're living in right now with AI. So I really just want to make sure to protect my asset as an independent music artist. So it's been exciting, but it's been a lot to learn. Um, so, releasing the first track, we're almost there. It's just loose ends that need to be tied up.
Whoa. So, all
Mm.
right. So I have some formal questions to ask you since we are technically on a business podcast.
Hmm.
However, I before I do that, let me get into what can you share? What can you share about your first track? Like, as in, what's the name of it and where will people be able to find it, download it, buy it? How will I be able to access your first track? And can you tell me the name of it?
Yes, of course. Okay, so the first track is called Sparks,
Okay.
and I am planning to release it Thursday, March 19th.
Oh,
Um, so it will be available on my website, which is molly.com, molli3.com. It will also be available for download on my website through Bandcamp. This is all free. Let's not take love to the
Now you can get 10 free email issues when you sign up for email at dearbusinesscoachpodcast.com. Discount codes, early access, exclusive content, the magazine, and access to the VIP page. Dearbusinesscoachpodcast.com.
So right now there's an option on there that I'm building into the website to have people, they can pay what they want for the track. So, but it is free to download. And I will also be distributing it on pretty much anywhere you get your music, with the exception of socials right now. So
Mhm.
I'm releasing it on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, um, the big main name players, with the exception of socials like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I'm still undecided on that
Okay.
front. Hmm.
Well, cool. I mean, so okay, so this is exciting. So I actually can go directly to Molli.com, but it's
Hmm.
spelled with a three. Molli, the number three.
Yes.
Whoa. Okay. So was that a difficult URL to get?
I was really surprised it was not.
Oh.
Um, I've tried URLs in the past with different business ideas, and they have become increasingly difficult. I mean, a name that seems simple can go for $1,000. So I was really surprised that that one was easy.
Mm.
I wanna make it right, I wanna make it home. What?
Hmm. Wow. Okay. Very cool. So, and I'm really impressed with the structure that you have picked out. I am familiar with Bandcamp.
Mhm.
The artist Stones Mayo, who is has been on this podcast twice, and
I've
his
seen him.
music, his one of his songs, July Fireworks, is the theme song right now for this show. And so that song is I downloaded that from Bandcamp and paid for it, and have since purchased more music from that artist on his Bandcamp page. And so that I really like that platform. And so um what so the title song or the title of your first release is Sparks, and this is exciting because I know you had to have a couple tracks lined up, but this one being the first one that you're releasing, I happen to be the hand model for the artwork for that
Yes.
song.
Yes. It
Cool. So
turned
yeah,
out great.
that was, and so that actually was also your idea. The artwork was your idea. Tell me about figuring out the artwork for your first release.
Oh, it was so much fun. Whenever I create a song, I'll just listen to it. I'll play it back, whether it's the demo version or the fully mixed version, and I'll get these ideas when I'm listening to it. So it might be like a music video idea, it might be music, or it might be artwork for the song. It's a very visual process as well as audio for me. So, in my mind's eye, visual. But yeah, to actually put the artwork and get it into an actual medium and see it come to life, it's a really neat thing because it's like a full dream that's come to bloom, blending music and art, and hopefully one day video. It's really fun.
Do you have a photography background?
I do not, and I am actually the worst photographer in my family. If you hand a camera to me versus someone else, I will most likely be the picture that's blurry.
Anyone else but Molly?
But, iPhones help with that quite a bit. And I do have a really nice Canon camera. I think it's called a 30D, and that has helped tremendously. It's great.
Okay, well, so what about your instrumentation. So you said it's new territory, or it has been you've had to cover a lot of territory. I'm paraphrasing now, but that's kind of what I got from it. And I wrote down here territory. So I think you said that you had learned how to cover a lot of territory
Mhm.
um, as a new release artist, as an independent artist. And yeah, that is specifically worth noting because that can mean a lot of different things. What does being an independent artist mean to you? And but for right this second, I can ask you about the instrumentation too. You created something first. It sounds like the vocals, and maybe was that supposed to be the focus? Are you saying I want the vocals to come first, or is that just what naturally starts for you for the process of a song, is starting with the vocals first?
That's a really good question. Um, that's an interesting question that I think about with other artists as well, including
Mm,
painters. Um, yeah, any kind of mixed media artist, that's a great question to ask because everybody comes to that process in their own way. It happens for me in different ways. But the central of it usually is either a vocal, I guess I should say to start, it's usually a very clear mind. So if I'm not thinking about anything and if I have the chance to be outside, that's my muse. And
mm,
then in that moment, I'll either think of a lyric and I guess I should say it will just kind of like pop in my head because I'm not actively thinking usually about it. It just kind of flows out. And then the guitar will be another central hub of creation. So it'll either start with a lyric or it'll start with just playing around on the guitar and finding something and then building from there. And lately, now that I've got a computer, in the past 2 years, another fun thing is to start with a beat. That's
mm.
really fun. Can we try again?
Well, that you know what? I was not expecting you to say that, because it seems like two completely opposite ways of coming at something. You're
Mm.
outside with the guitar, or you're inside with the beatbox, or or
Hmm.
what your boombox, your beatbox. So that's great, and yeah, I wish I were a musician. In fact, I think I need to start taking some kind of lessons, probably. But my family members are musicians. I'm the only one in my family who's not, it seems like. It seems like. And so it's fun to hear you say that you come to something from different angles like that. And also, I would think that if you're somebody who is composing for vocals, or that was the assumption that I made. So actually, there you go. That was an assumption. You don't necessarily start with vocals, but
Hmm.
this when you start with a song, do you intend for uh, a certain thing to stand out first?
Hmm.
Like when you start working on a song, maybe something starts coming out for you, then do you find that something needs to stand out? Like this song's going to be about the beat. This song's going to be
Hmm.
about the words. This song's going to be about the guitar. Is that something that happens for you?
Sometimes it is. Sometimes you really find a cool beat or you find something on the guitar that's like, that sounds really cool, and I want that to be the main emphasis of this part of the song, kind of take over almost like it would be the solo artist in the song in a certain part. We don't really have a lot of solos in music and pop music anymore,
Hmm.
but I think that should come back. But also, music for me is very emotional. So if I'm not thinking about anything, sometimes it's just a feeling. And that's usually where it stems from. It usually stems from a feeling. Like this song sparks. I watched the movie, I think it's called Marry Me with Jennifer Lopez and Owen Wilson.
Oh, uh-huh.
I don't even know if I'm allowed to say that on here.
I don't
Um,
either. I think so, yes.
you can say I watched a
They're public
Jennifer Lopez
figures.
movie. Yeah. And she was a singer in the movie, and she was a pop star. And she had this really fun, upbeat song. And it was kind of a love song. And it just gave me this feeling of I want to make something upbeat, fun, something about love. And from that feeling, you know, words start to flow and guitar starts to come out. So it's fun. Mhm.
Well, and now you started, when did you start playing guitar?
I think I was 11.
Hmm. Do you play
Mhm.
any other instruments?
Not officially. I don't have any formal training on guitar either. I might have ADD when it comes to sitting down and learning music theory. Like I
Mm.
can I can learn other things and sit down and get in a book. That's not a problem. But when it comes to learning music theory, I just have the hardest time sitting down and doing it. So the guitar is, I would say I play around on it. I don't
Okay.
really have like formal training in that. That
Wow.
doesn't mean that the chords aren't complex. But yeah, it's just another way of doing it. And then the piano, I play around on that a little bit. And there's a lot of virtual instruments in the software program that I'm using. And so I'll use a piano to do those, like, MIDI strings and synthesizers and bass. And I also have a bass that I do play as well.
Okay.
It's fun.
Ooh, now are you also so you are composing piano pieces or piano parts
Mm-hmm.
on the computer?
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Oh my
Yes.
gosh. I can't believe my microphone's been over there the whole time. Okay. Alrighty. Well, actually, let me just make a spot here for a break so I can make sure I know about that spot. And well, okay, so you are adding piano through I want to say a virtual piano, but you're using a piano on the computer.
Well, it plugs, so it's a little keyboard.
Oh, you actually have the keyboard. Gotcha. Okay, that was
Mm-hmm.
my question. Yeah, you're actually physically playing on a keyboard, but it's
Mm-hmm.
okay. Okay, wow. So you can, all right. So you have you're self-taught then, is accurate to say, right? Wow.
Yes. Um, so when I first started playing, I learned a lot of jazz songs because that
Oh.
was my father's influence.
Uh-huh.
And so the first song that I learned on the guitar was Angel Eyes.
Oh, wow.
And I would have to go back and revisit it today. It would take me a few minutes to remember it. But yeah, Angel Eyes, and then there were some Spanish things on there, and I think the Pink Panther theme song. And so just a nice eclectic, broad range of songs, and then tried to learn a few cover songs. Like I really liked Coldplay when I was
Hmm.
younger, and then um, The Killers. But yeah, other than that, I just find for myself, I find it stunting to my creativity because in some way, learning and not being self-taught and learning the professional approach to music, it gives you so much freedom to just know what you want to do and just be able to do it. But for my process, it seems to work better to be self-taught so I can just not really be thinking and just feel it out, if that makes any sense.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
You leave the door open. Stay up tonight, I wanna lay in your.
Yeah, I would like to say that I know something about the market in terms of artists being self-taught versus people who are going through formal training. I don't really know. I do notice when I'm admiring an artist, whether I'm watching an actor on TV or I'm listening to an artist who's a musician, I will often look that kind of information up about somebody, or I'll listen for commentary around their narrative about that, right? I'm always curious how this person got to where they are, but specifically I'm fascinated, yeah, with how people come into their craft, if as people say. Like, did you teach yourself? Are you, some people use the word classical training, right? Or formal training. Um, so so when I think about the marketplace and artists, I don't really know. Are there a lot of self-taught artists these days? Is that can you be a self-taught artist these days? I mean, you're releasing your first track, and so maybe we'll ask you again in a couple years how everything's, how you like doing it yourself. And those are two different questions actually, before I go any farther. I don't want to blend in the question of being an independent marketing agent for yourself versus actually learning your craft and someone who is self-taught in terms of your music. But what do you know about that? Are there a lot when I look at people on the radio, when I look at people in performance on television, do you think that there are a lot of artists that are self-taught, or what do you know about that?
I think there are. Um, I know I can only think of one right now, and I want to say I know two, but I'm not for sure, so I won't mention her name. But I know Mariah Carey, self-taught.
Oh, really?
She has not had any formal training. Her, was it her aunt? Someone very close in her family was Minnie Driver, I think. She's a famous.
Oh, really? Okay.
And so she, Mariah Carey does not, she values herself as a self-taught person because it's allowed her, I'm paraphrasing, but she said it's allowed her to go places with her voice that traditionally you wouldn't go. Like if you're doing a certain chord progression, you would follow a certain path. But because she's not formally trained, she said that she's had the ability to go a different path, go outside of the norm and be in a different way of creative. And so I was watching her in her lounge in her studio, and she would have an idea, and she would have, if she was recording something and she needed to relate that idea to a violinist, she would have somebody there that could do that. So she would say, I'm thinking about it sounding like this, and she would sing it, and then her person would say, oh, okay, the violinist needs to do a CEC, something like that. So it does have limitations not being formally trained because you will have to rely on, either doing it a slower way when it comes to communicating with other musicians, or you'll have to have somebody to do that for you. But I like to think there's no one way to do art. So
Yeah, I absolutely. I mean, well, that's actually really fascinating. And I'm listening to you now and I'm thinking about, yeah, when I'm getting into practicing or learning something, I have been in, I have been of the mind many times where I say, I don't want to practice this the wrong way, or I want to make sure I'm with a teacher that um, reflects a style or a pathway that I think aligns with me because once I get going and once I learn it a certain way, that's how I'm going to be practicing it. And so I almost want to protect that. And that was an interesting thing you shared there about Mariah Carey. And you said a minute ago that being self-taught, you may not be classically trained, you, but that doesn't mean you're not playing complex chords or chord progressions. And how do you actually play amongst like the sounds that you like, finding sounds that you like? Do you have like certain chords that you like, for example, or are there certain artists that you lean on in terms of inspiration, like yeah, how you might start with a structure, for example? And not as being not someone who's not a musician, I don't have the right vocabulary, by the way. So please correct me or rephrase my question with the right vocabulary when needed.
I think it sounds great.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I take a lot of inspiration from other artists. There's a lot of different song structures out there. You can
Mm.
start with the chorus. You can start slowly and build up. You can start with a crazy intro, and just have the first verse be totally different from the intro. There's a lot of songs out there that I hear that I cherry pick ideas to make them totally, different, of course, not stealing the idea, but using it in a way of like forming a song. So this person has a song that I really like that has a chorus that starts the song, opens up with a bang, and then it kind of mellows out in the middle and then ends with a bang. I'll take those different structures from inspiration. It's
Hmm.
there's a lot of different ways to do that.
Well, that's helpful to hear too. If I, yeah, you can actually listen to somebody else's song or music and kind of draw out a structure for yourself, sort of like reverse
Mhm.
engineering or something. Well, okay. Well,
Mhm.
thank you for indulging me in that. I have gone way off topic here. And let me
Mhm.
go back to where we can find you. So you're actually releasing your first track, Sparks, on March 19th. Yes. Okay. So, and I can actually download that through your website, and that's Molly with the three, Mollie3.com. And that's purchased through Bandcamp. So I can find you on Bandcamp. Molly.com. Now,
So
huh?
that's Molli3. So the
Yes.
three replaces the E.
Yes.
Oh,
M
okay.
M
So
Molli3.com.
yeah, that's it.
Okay. I do have to ask you now, where are you from? Whereabouts um do you broadcast or interview or play your music?
You mean physically? Do I go out and play somewhere?
Yeah.
Not at the time, not at the moment. I would love the chance to do that, but right now it's just me and it would have to be an acoustic with just my guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Or, maybe I could set up a beat on the computer or something. But it would pretty much be a one-man band. And possibly one day, that's in the future, once I na learn how to navigate all the different audio aspects of what would be good in a performance. But I'm not there yet. Um, so that might be in the future. We'll see.
Okay. Well, I actually I'm looking forward to uh, um following you, and and so I know how to do that on Bandcamp. Now, do you also have um like a sign up list? Can I give you my email address or something so where I can like actually be alerted like for future releases and stuff?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I will have a newsletter on the web page. You won't. You won't have to make an account or anything like that. It'll just be if you want to share your email, I can send you when my next new release is coming up and give you a preview to that and possibly an early download link. So that will be part of the website.
Okay, and to actually pay buy the song or pay what I want for the song, and that
Hmm.
is built into the website, right? So like when I go to Bandcamp and I
Hmm.
see your work there, it's just like purchasing the song, right? I just click on a
Hmm.
button like I would any other pay button, but I
Yes.
am given the option to select a dollar value. Is that kind of how it works?
Yes. Yeah, that's
Okay.
exactly how it works. And Bandcamp, I have a link on my website and it actually directs you to Bandcamp to download the songs.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, awesome. So Molli number three dot
Mhm.
com.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Well, Molly, thank you for coming to the show today. And this is a real pleasure. So sorry, guys, you'll have to wait until March 19th to listen to the song. Well, we want to have you back and do some more sampling. Maybe I can get you to actually perform here at some point.
That would be really fun.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, Molly, I hope you have a great day and I'll talk to you next time.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Dear Business Coach podcast. My name is Elizabeth Walker, producer and host of the Dear Business Coach podcast. Music by Stones Mayo. Social media by Meenakshi Bensal. Follow and subscribe now. Thanks so much. You are a superstar.
Let's not take love to the